Who is it?
Hooyo ma joogtaa?
Hooyo Mataalo. She went shopping.
Hooyo markay timaado haba xabiibaa kuu timid ku dheh.
Okay, habo.
Yo, wagwan, assalamu alaikum, damantina kuso dawada, and welcome to Hooyo Mataalo podcast. I'm Lee, short for Liban.
I'm Sam, short for Samata.
And yeah, we back, baby, back for episode 8. And this week we have a young brother from the neighborhood, a local brother, a brother we both know, who shares the same name as me. Obviously, he's number 2, I'm number 1. So yeah, man, welcome, Liban.
Can we stop that talk?
There's a dispute now.
There's a big dispute.
Big dispute. Who's 1, who's 2?
Listen, I've always said it, innit? I'm number 1, innit? But for today, I'll pass it over to you, mate.
Pass the torch on to him today, man. The guest. You got to put him as number 1 today, you know what I'm saying?
That's it, man. That's it.
Yeah, definitely, man. You got to keep it like that. But yeah, today we got Liban here today. And yeah, Liban and me were quite, we know each other for quite some time. You know, we went to the same school from primary upwards.
Oh, year 6, isn't it?
Yeah, from year 6. When when I first came here from Holland, I think he came after about 3 weeks or so?
2 weeks.
Oh, two weeks or
I
so.
think it's 2 weeks.
2 weeks or so. It was a bit.
I met a different Sam at that point. I'm not going to lie. I saw a different Sam.
What was it like?
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't even know how I communicated with him the first 6 months.
Yeah, I think it was about the first 6 months or so. It was different, especially when I think I was still, grasping with the language, getting to know it. Like, the thing was, I think it was like broken Dutch with a little bit of English going on.
Bro, it was funny. Lee, I'm not going to lie to you. The Somali wasn't Somalian. You know the one?
Yeah.
English was a bit broken. I don't know Dutch. So it had to go like pen here.
Wow.
It was them type of settings.
Were you his translator?
In a sense, because like I'm not gonna lie, the white kids and the other guys in the class, it was harder to get the point across.
Yeah.
For some reason, it was easier for me to get the point across. So for me, as soon as I came in, I could speak English. It wasn't a big deal. So we just took it from there.
Okay,
It was different because when you first come on, it takes a bit of time to kick in the language and everything else. But yeah, it's easier, especially when you got another Somali guy, kid at that time, anyways, having in the class, and then you say, oh, that's another guy there. You bond. The bond is there straight away. So then you get to know each other much easier. But at the same time, when you first came, you had a Southern African accent on you. Do you know what I mean? I think for a lot of people, what it is, with Somalis anyways that come from abroad, they come probably from Scandinavia, they come from Holland, they come from the Arabian Peninsula most of the time, Kenya, Somalia, you could
Sweden,
Ethiopia. Do you know what I mean? You could come from all sorts of places, but with you, it was different. Like, for the listeners and the viewers, like, you gotta explain where you're from. Yours was a bit.
I share the nickname Zambia.
Yeah, Zambia.
Yeah, bro. I get it all the time when they say where you born, what age do you come. I always tell them Zambia. They get baffled, especially Somalis.
The amount of times when I remember you saying to someone, "Yeah, I'm from Zambia." And the look on people's face, they're like, what? Bro, a Somali from Zambia? What is that?
Like, most people claim different things. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah. Like, Somali Yemenis, for example.
For example,
I'm from Yemen.
They'll say, like, for example, let's say a Somali comes from maybe Kenya or Tanzania. They'll say, I'm born in Scandinavia or something. Like, they'll try to hide it. Or I'm born in Somalia. And I came straight here, innit? So for me, when people heard, I'm from Zambia, I'm not from nowhere else. They'll get shocked and they'll ask me how did you get there? Like 21 questions.
Yeah. But I think when you first told me from Zambia, do you know what I mean? And the picture I got was, okay, I know it's about somewhere in Southern Africa and whatnot. So when you're young, you get that picture of shorts, slippers. You know what I mean? Barefoot, maybe.
Jungle. I heard jungle a couple of times.
Jungle a couple of times.
So wait, so you were born in Zambia, yeah?
Yeah.
And so how long did you stay in Zambia?
Bro, I came here when I was 10.
Okay.
10. So year 6, basically. Bro, and it's a funny story. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Don't tell me.
Basically,
Yeah.
would you deep it? Yeah, I was in school in Zambia on a Monday, and I was in primary school on a Thursday in London. Bro,
No
it's
way.
nuts, fam, but it is what it is. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
You know,
So what do you like? How well do you remember like your childhood?
My
Like,
childhood?
yeah, like around like before
Right.
coming
No,
in.
very well. Because like the funny thing is, I learned English before I learned Somali as well. Like
No
English
way.
was my first language. Because there, the school you go to is an English school.
Yeah.
All you're speaking Somali is to your family. It's literally like growing up here in language wise. So I learned English first, and my Somali was, I wouldn't say bad, but it was just a bit better than the usual kids that grow
Yeah.
here, innit?
Mm.
Because all you speak is basically just speaking with your parents in Somali, so you don't get the practice in. But English, I was A1. The only difference was a little bit of accent, maybe a couple words that people use here for slang or something. But it was easy ride.
It was an easy ride for you. But wasn't it different? You said literally you was in primary school on a Monday, and then on Thursday you're here. Do you know what I mean? Now, what was it like when you first got there? You're seeing, you know, it's just different to what you're used
Bro,
to.
it was nuts.
Do you know what I
I'm not gonna
mean?
lie. Bro, I came here on a Tuesday. Wednesday just had a chill day at home, trying to figure out, the TV channels and trying to see
Yeah.
what life is
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Because I'm thinking all these houses are so small. It's like slits to me. innit?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how do I tell the difference between the roads? It was mad. Then on Thursday, I walk into a class, and I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen that many white people in the same room, fam. I'm thinking, what is going on here? Innit?
You know what must have struck you was that interactive whiteboard, didn't it?
Bro, I laugh, man. I laugh.
That interactive whiteboard. Because to me, it shocked me. I'm not gonna lie. Although I was from Holland at that point, do you know what I mean? We was using chalk still at that point.
Yeah,
so the minute
blackboard.
I came down, I'm seeing a projector there. I'm thinking, yo, what's
Bro,
going on?
But you know what happens when you say you're coming to England, innit? It's like expect that.
Yeah,
innit?
yeah.
Like, there's a bit of an expectation to say, yo, this man do a bit different.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that deep. When you come here that young, it's easier to like grasp little things like that.
What about the season? Like, what season was it when you came? Like,
Bro,
in terms of the weather.
autumn, bro, it was August, innit? September, somewhere.
I think you came. I came in September, I think. But you came I think it was like the first week, maybe October even, or the last week of September, around that time.
So you
Do
went
you know what I mean?
from, I'm guessing you went from toes out in the sandals and that, and then now you're wearing the,
Bro, it's a big difference, fam. The first 6 months, oh my lord, fam, I've never seen cold in my life.
mad.
Bro, the second day, I think we had to get jackets and that for
Yeah.
the winter, innit? Because the cold here was already a bit too much for me. Because
Yeah.
it's autumn, I was thinking I need something heavy,
Yeah.
but I didn't even know winter's coming.
Yeah,
I didn't know about winter. I'm thinking, yo, right now I need a jacket.
Yeah.
So I remember just going to the shop, just getting a jacket, trying to sort myself out. But that first winter, I'm not gonna lie, I did not go outside too tough. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I had to get used to it.
Yeah, that fleece from day one. I remember.
Bro, that fleece, yeah.
It kept you there. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
people didn't like wearing the fleece. I was like one of the few guys.
I think he was one of the few. So it's different, obviously. I don't know what it's like in Zambia, but like I had to get used to the whole uniform side of things.
Now
Do
we
you know what I
had
mean?
uniform in Zambia as
Yeah.
well, but it wasn't like the way it is in England.
Yeah.
It was like the whole primary school wears a certain uniform, and the whole high school wears a certain uniform. And I went to Islamic school in Zambia, so it was a bit different.
You see, when you come here, like, like I remember when I first came here, like we went to, like, I don't know why, yeah, but my friends still take the mick out of me, innit, like, till this day. But my parents bought some, like, dunks from Lidl, innit?
Lidl, yeah.
Listen, they were yellow dunks, yeah. And I used to, like, I think I picked them out, innit, because I like them, innit, they look nice, yeah. So I wore them to school, whatnot, this and that, yeah. And like even till this day, some of the randoms still take the mick out of me, like for this odd fashion that I came with from where I come from.
Everyone remembers like how someone arrived. Does it make sense? That I got a few friends literally like there's even one guy anyways that Lee probably that Lee knows literally he came in a bright red coat, do you know what I mean? Fresh from one of them Scandinavian countries, and you can tell from miles apart on literally on the concrete. You can see him standing there and whatnot. He's wearing a bright red coat, do you know what I mean? But at the same time, when the years go by, you acclimatize more, so you wear different types of coat and whatnot. So, but people will remember.
They
that.
always
Like,
remember that.
Like everyone's got that, someone.
But
where
I
they come
slid
in.
by
Did you have no? I'm not having that. You must
Nah.
have some kind of experience. That's my question to
Bro,
you
I'm
now.
not gonna lie, it was.
Just like that.
Were you wearing the same
Just like
flip flops,
He's
Bro,
trying
there
to
was
say
no
what?
flip flops.
sandals?
He came here with sandals. And
Nah. Bro, it was calm, fam. I was just wearing jeans, shoes.
Pimp soles,
It wasn't that
It
deep.
had to be pimp soles, isn't it?
Bro, have you been to Africa? Bro? You know what I mean? It's not really that deep.
I
fam.
actually haven't still,
It's
man.
here,
But yeah.
here it's just the code. That's
Yeah.
the only major
Yeah.
difference. It's just the code.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
You
yeah.
have to understand, 10-year-old here and 10-year-old somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's the same swag.
Yeah.
You're not
Nah,
dripping
yeah.
out at 10.
Yeah, yeah.
No. You're not dripping. No, 100%.
Come on.
It's different at the same time. But at the same time, what we really wanted to know was like, why were there Somalis, for example, in Zambia? Like, that's intriguing, because most of the time, what you realize is when you think about Somalis in Africa, you think more of like Kenya, Ethiopia. You think more of maybe Uganda, Tanzania, where the most of Somalis are. Of course, the entrepreneurial folks and have businesses and all sorts going on. But Zambia, that was something new. So, give us a bit of an insight of why that was the case.
I'm not gonna lie. When people say Somalia, Somalis, why are they in Zambia? Bro, to me, it's baffling, because from my point of view, Somalis are everywhere in Africa.
Yeah.
It just depends on the population, how much of them are there. For example, Mozambique, there's a couple Somalis there. South Africa, I'm sure you heard
Yeah,
about
there's
it.
loads, yeah.
There's loads of them in there. Zambia is the same. It's all in the same block. And it's the closest out of those countries to be next to East Africa. So
Yeah.
there's naturally going to be Somalis there. The way I see it is, if there's opportunities and business opportunities anywhere close to where Somalis are, they're going to migrate.
Yeah.
It's just natural.
So they think straight, business is there, let's go there and whatnot. And I think most of the time that's the case. But I think you mentioned this to me, I think quite some time ago, what the whole reasoning was and why Somalis got there in the first place. Like, what kind of businesses are they into in Zambia?
Basically, it's predominantly trucking and logistics. Basically, that's what they specialize in down there. They're not like all types of business. That's their main business. Everything else is a bonus. So if you go Zambia, for example, and all the petrol, diesel, all the goods being transported, it's all Somalis, or 90% is Somalis. The only thing that they don't transport is obviously alcohol and those type of situations. But anything else, it's most likely a Somali.
So you're saying mostly that's what they're into and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's the whole reasoning.
That's how they
Yeah.
started and established themselves. Nowadays, obviously, they're going to go into different businesses, maybe shops, such things. But their main bread and butter is trucking.
So when did they come there? Was it like the 70s, the 60s?
Bro, I think the first people to go there were in the 60s.
In the 60s, isn't it? I think I read it somewhere how the reason they got there in the first place is because they needed experienced drivers to drive them through particular, roads and whatnot.
Yeah, bro. I'm not going to lie. It sounds a bit weird, but Somalis are known as good drivers. You know? Bro, when I tell people this, they don't understand. There's a saying, innit? Basically, some Somalis, they rate each other on how sick their driving is, basically, So they go, there's a status that they have called champion gear, innit?
Champion, yeah.
Yeah, basically saying, yo, this guy can go through any road, anyhow.
Yeah.
So basically, there's this terrain, there's this route that had to go into another country that most drivers couldn't drive through. So what they did, they exported Somali drivers to come navigate through that route.
Yeah.
So that's how they first started. As soon as they retired, they're like, you know what, I'm posted here.
So they made a base basically. Like it might have even started from like maybe 4 or 5, and then it just multiplied from there, isn't it?
Bro, Lord knows we're pretty married into the local population.
You never know, yeah.
I don't know about the original people. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know who they were. I just know that Somalis came here time ago. But in mass, I think they started coming in 1990, maybe early 80s, late 80s, but predominantly 1990.
So majority came during that time, isn't it? But I think you mentioned also, and this is the thing with Somalis, like you think like, why is it that they're in these kind of different, countries, and what made these people just go all over the place? But at the same time, it's like they smell money and opportunities to be made. It's similar to like, we spoke about one time in South Africa when they set up shop there. They call
Spazzers.
spazzers. Yeah. So there's
Yeah.
in these what do they call it? In these, I'd say low income kind of areas, like slums and
The Sowetos.
the Sowetos and
Yeah.
all these kind of areas where they set up these shops, right? And what they tend to do is like they've got goods that they sell, but at the same time is they got like a low markup, meaning they get a small they get a small profit from it, but at the same time it's because they're selling such a large quantity of those, right? And they're open like maybe 24/7. But the way they do it, with Somalis, it's like everyone's got a share in the business, maybe 4 or 5 brothers or 4 or 5 friends, and they put the money together. And once that's successful, they take a bit of the profit and then they move over to the next shop and take over that area. Do you know what I mean? At the same time, and I was looking at this YouTube clip, so interesting. It's to do with how they give credit lines to the local people that can't afford at that time until their next maybe payday. Do you know what I mean? So they give them a little bit of money in terms of they give them the goods now, and what they do is once you get paid, for example, then you return the money, and it goes on. So they build a trust then in that way with the community at the same time. And what they do is obviously they hire local people. They give them jobs and whatnot, and then it boosts the local economy that way at the same time. So you know how it works. You employ the local people, and at the same time, that's really good for the economy. Do you know what I mean? I think it's like at the same time, that's how they expand. And I think a lot of Somalis are familiar with Somalis in South Africa, how well they do. Of course, there's a lot of
The bad side.
the bad side, the xenophobia that goes on there. There's a lot of discriminations made from the locals. How they think like maybe similar to maybe how England, they say, they're taking our jobs and everything else. Do you know what I mean? That's how they look at things. But really and truly, what it is with the Somalis, like, they'll set up shop anywhere. They don't really care what it is. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's always how one guy will start up really small, right? And once he gathers enough money, he then moves on to the next thing. And it's interesting. I think maybe in Zambia it was the same thing. Maybe they started maybe one truck, and then from that one
That's
truck,
how it all starts. They've got a blueprint. Most Somalis I know that started making money all started as a truck driver. So they basically started like learning how to drive a truck. Maybe their cousin brings them in and says, you know what, you're not making money, you're not working, let me show you how to drive a truck. So basically he learns how to drive a truck. He gets a job, someone brings him in, says, drive this truck for me, while he's stacking up to buy shares on his own truck. So mostly what they do is they grind out maybe a year, 2 years, just try and make money to own shares in a truck so that it can make passive income. But when you tell people, like, for example, living in England, like, most people just work for a paycheck. Like, they don't work to get out of a paycheck. It's a given. You have to. That you can't live your life just waiting for that, like, that trucking paycheck. It don't make sense to them.
Yeah, because it's different. Here, maybe what it is like, you can still depend on maybe the state to give you some kind of income. Maybe,
there's nothing. It's do or die, bro.
Yeah, so down there, there's no security. There's no income.
Like,
it's either you make the bread or you.
bro,
or that's it for you.
I'm not gonna lie. You make it or no one knows you. That's basically, it's cutthroat. There's nothing like, that guy's not making money. If you're fit and able, you're on your own, most likely. Like, unless you got family that's gonna help you out through the trouble times. But basically, you just jump on a truck, work a bit, get half a truck, get your own truck, drive your own truck, make money. Then it just keeps on going like that, and they just have a progression. Bro, they don't know anything about holidays down there. They don't know none of that.
But at the same time, Somalis, you know how Somalis are, right? When they're in different countries, they like to just stick to themselves. Like, they don't like to, like, it's more like they got their own community going on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Is it the same thing?
They do, 100%. They got their own. Basically, there's 2 cities that Somalis predominantly live, and it's like capital city, Lusaka, and the second city in Dola. So basically, they just go in between those 2 cities. But the thing is, in those cities, they have neighborhoods that's predominantly Somali. Like, you're gonna have other people living there, but they just have their own, like, makhaid or, like, just the way our areas are here in London.
Do you have like a variety of like different Somalis with different incomes, like rich Somalis, like the poorer ones?
Like, 100%. I wouldn't say poorer. That one's a strong word. I'm not gonna lie. I would say there's well-off Somalis and there's Somalis that are just middle class or just maybe below middle class. Because the thing is with Africa, when you say poorer, there's levels.
Okay.
There's literally, I haven't got food. And then there's poor, like, okay, yeah, I'm working paycheck to paycheck. It's two different types, isn't it? So I wouldn't say that there's no food on the table. Some guys might be paycheck to paycheck, but there's affluent ones as well at the same time.
Yeah, because I've seen literally, there must be big communities literally where you've got, like you said, affluent Somalis where they're really rich and they've done well for themselves. Do you know what I mean?
You'll be surprised. There's people who go up down there. But the thing is, they don't spend it how you expect Somalis to spend it. Basically, here, if you find someone makes money, you're going to know he makes money.
Yeah.
How he spends it on cars or whatever. There, they don't have that same thought process. Maybe if their kids spend their money and start messing about with it, but the guy that makes it doesn't really spend it too tough.
So it's different. They're not too materialistic then.
Nah, they'll buy Land Cruiser, like a waving Land Cruiser, 19 plate. Basically, he's lit.
That tends to be the car they love, in is the Land Cruisers down there, isn't it?
The Pajeros, the Land Cruisers, basically any 4x4. That's a bit of luxury-ish.
A bit of luxury, isn't it? It's different. But then, did you have Somalis, Zambians, let's call them that, right? That did the ones that did they then? I remember you saying something, and this was really good. That they were buying trucks from here, right? And they buy the trucks secondhand, wherever they might be, and then they take them back. Do you know what I mean?
Most trucks that are in Africa are from England. Bro.
Yeah.
People don't know that. Because here you have rules. There's road licensing rules. Like a truck after a certain mileage cannot work. But when they do that, they sell it to Africa. Africa is until it breaks down. There's no
to the end.
no like road safety. Does your truck move?
Yeah.
If it moves, we're good. We make money. Yeah. If it doesn't move and it's breaking down two times, send a mechanic with him when it breaks down.
When it breaks down.
Bro, there's even jobs like, for example, let's say you've got a transporting company. There's jobs where one guy's main job is to literally take mechanics to a car that broke down or a truck that broke down maybe 600 miles away. So his job is always like transporting mechanics to different jobs. So literally they live, breathe it, fam.
They do, yeah. It must be different. But are there other Somalis in neighboring countries that, that do...
What, the same business?
Yeah, that's something similar. I think you said something along the lines of like Somalis even being in Congo, for example.
Bro,
do you know what I mean?
Bro, people don't. You know what? Yeah, know, niggas need to travel more. I'm not gonna lie. Niggas need to travel more. There's Somalis everywhere. Bro, I wouldn't be surprised if Somalis in Ghana, Somalis in Sierra Leone. Bro, I think Somalis are everywhere personally.
So they're is it similar trucking, transport, or they're doing different type of things up there too?
I would say that they do trucking, but maybe because the situation in Congo is a bit less. Yeah, it's more volatile. Yeah, it's more volatile. So I'm not sure how easy it is to do business. Yeah, but money moves. Money moves.
So for Somalis down there in Africa, it's literally sometimes we don't care about the volatility as long as we can get.
Somalis there and Somalis here, two different people.
So what's the difference? Your point of view. What's the difference then? Would you say?
It's their outlook on life, to be honest. It's their outlook on life.
Do you think they're more risk takers then?
Yeah, 100%.
Would you say risk takers or they just have a different type of work ethic?
No, it's mentality.
Okay.
It's mentality first. Because, like, living in England, you see, like, people chase comfortability here. People just want a comfortable life. I can pay my bills. Anything extra, let me do 2 hobbies a month and I'm sorted. You won't hear too much from me. There, I think you have a higher percentage of people saying, I want to make it. Because I've seen, because you're reminded every day. Let's say you're in a city in Botswana, for example. Yeah. For you to drive to work, you're driving past something they call a compound. Compound is basically a low income neighborhood where, have you seen those?
Like shanty towns,
shanty towns, where the little houses are made from steel, plates. Yeah. So you're seeing that every day, and you're knowing that if I haven't got a degree or if I haven't got something I can work with and I'm just doing labor, for example, I'm not too far off. Like two problems and I'm here. So everyone's trying to get out of that situation, trying to distance themselves from poverty in a sense.
So there's no sense of complacency at all. It's just we move.
Okay, yes and no. Reason why I'm saying it's slower paced than England. So their end goal is different, but the way they get there is totally different. So they're more hardworking, but how they if it makes it how their hard work is different.
Okay.
Because like there's no time there is a bit slower than here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like they wake up at like 8, like stroll into work at 10. Like you know what I mean? There's no clocking.
There's
clock
no
out.
clocking. Yeah, it's more
None of
like
that situation. Their task, for an example, is are the trucks moving today? Have we got contracts for the trucks to move?
Yeah.
They move. You know what I mean? That's the major thing. As long as the trucks move, everything else we can take.
So everything's based on contracts down there. It's like you winning a contract basically.
Yeah.
It could be government contracts. It could be private contracts. It could be everything else, isn't it? And once you receive those, you can move. To however you want to do. It could be a big distance. It could even be going from, let's say, Zambia to maybe
International,
Tanzania.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
International.
It can go to such a it can be like that at times. But do you the ones that set up a like you said, they start off one truck, then 2 trucks, and so on. Do they then end up with a whole company then? And then from that company, from the Somalis, anyways, when they have a big company, what is it like then? Do they? Because I saw something that how they give back to the community. For example, like I think they give like garbage trucks.
Yeah, they always do that to like win favor with locals. That's always gonna happen.
And styles, the local government
Yeah.
and stuff.
We won't talk about that too much. But let's just
Yeah.
Let's
Now,
just say,
Yeah.
So wait, obviously, you're born there. You came here when you were 10,
yeah,
and you ended up going back there.
I went back like, when I was in year 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
End of year 10.
Okay, so why did you go back?
Let's just say I was a bit fast for my age.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. Is that a good description?
Yeah. Fast
You
age,
man know
yeah.
me. Is that a good description? No, I'm not gonna lie. I just needed to slow down in it. At that time, I didn't understand it, but looking back now, I think that's a good decision. I'm not gonna lie.
I think the time you went back, anyways, you came back totally different. I feel like you came back so mature in the sense of like you was calmer. Your outlook on life was different too. At the same time, do you know what I mean? And I think you probably mentioned that how family plays a big part, especially down there. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. Family plays a big part because one of the major, like, I see other people that get sent back all the time,
Yeah.
and they rarely come back better than they left.
Yeah.
It's very
It doesn't
rare.
always
Rare,
work out,
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
Very
Yeah.
rare. And I think it has to do with family. Because, for example, if I went to a family that maybe didn't care about me too tough, it would have been a different situation. I would have basically rebelled. But I went to one of my favorite people, Lana Harriston, my uncle, innit?
So,
He's basically my second dad in my eyes.
yeah.
He was the best guy for me to go there, fam.
So you learned from him a lot. You know, at the same time, I think you said he was a doctor, isn't it?
Yeah, he was
there?
a doctor, yeah.
So that played a big part.
Yeah.
You know, it's I think and again, I touch on it a lot of times. It's like having that positive role model there. Do you know what I mean? At the same time, you've got someone there that's, like I said, this doctor, you're seeing his day to day and how he lives and everything, and you take a lot from that. Did I play a big part?
Nah, 100%. Basically, he used to listen to me, innit?
Yeah.
You know when you're new, you're back,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm trying to go back to England. Or,
Yeah. Anyway, possible.
Anyway,
Yeah.
what should I do?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
talking to him like we're friends, innit?
Yeah.
He used to say like, yo, really, if you want to go back, I could speak to your parents, innit?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to? So it made me feel bad. Like, I don't want to like say that I want to leave you.
Yeah.
So he puts you in a little situation, innit? So he just made me a deal. Said, finish school, and you'll be able to go back. So I just like got used to it.
But
So-
then I think you went there too. You went to the international school, isn't it? At the same time. So it's totally different. Of course, you're not going to the local schools. You're going to literally, what do they call it, English international school, where you're not doing the regular GCSEs you're doing
IGCSE.
Yeah.
It was basically international GCSE. I'm not gonna lie, it's a shock. It is harder than GCSE here, fam. Because I went there starting year 11 here.
Yeah.
I basically did even half my GCSEs by that time. I go there thinking, yo, it's a quick year.
Yeah,
I'm a breeze
walk in the park.
breeze through it.
I'm
Yeah?
gonna breeze
Yeah,
through it.
walk in the park.
And goes into the lesson, innit? And they were teaching biology. They were basically, because they do their IGCSE over 3 years. So it's like they give each other like a longer period and it's still hard.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, it is what it is. Let me see what it's saying, innit? Put me on the last
Yeah.
year. Let me breeze past it. Right, I go into one lesson. Yeah. Man, it breathes for two things.
Yeah.
Heart, left ventricles. Bro, I said, nah, I need to start again. But I wanted to come to England. I wanted to come back as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about, is this like you've got this plan in your head that I'm gonna,
Bro, I'm thinking, what's the quickest way for me to go back to England? And they said finish school. So I'm thinking 3 years. That's a myth. I'm trying to go back as quick as possible. Innit? That's why I thought it was a year. Because I knew I was always going back. It wasn't like most people, I think they get like koalas.
Yeah, I think once, what happens a lot of the times is, and this from some of the things I've seen anyways, that a lot of kids get sent back, right? And I feel like that's the only option that the parents take when they're sending their kids back. It's like, let him be over there out of sight. Do you know what I mean? So we don't need to be
can't
dealing
handle this problem.
Yeah, like we don't need to be dealing this on a daily basis and whatnot. We don't want to be going, having the police at our doors, etc. But what they don't realize is once this kid goes back to, let's say, Somalia, right? It doesn't always work out like that, because down there it's not like everything's calm either. Always, do you know what I mean? Like you're gonna be doing sometimes the same things you was doing here.
Unstable
Do you know what I
environment.
mean? Loads of people that go there, they don't always come back the same either. Do you know what I mean?
Nah.
Did you encounter like any other like people in your situation whilst you was over there?
Yeah, I had cousins from Canada, because the house I lived in was like a boy's house.
Yeah.
And I was the youngest out of all my cousins. So basically, I come in there, I had a cousin from Canada that was living in that house, and the rest grew up in Zambia. But I all knew all of them, because that's where I was born in it. I knew all of them. So it wasn't like something crazy.
Yeah, not something crazy that you're not used
It's
to.
like a homecoming, man, basically.
It's like, he went to England, you get me? He's back now.
It's back now.
Yeah, bro, it's so bad. I even had friends that I grew up with from when we were kids, like in the school. They're like, yo, Lee's back. It was one of them situations.
You just gone the other day, and
Bro, I'm like, yo, I'm back in it, but not for
Fresh
too long.
home,
Not for
fresh
too long.
home.
I'm trying to go back.
Basically. But nah, it wasn't that bad. But living in the moment, you're thinking, let me try to get back to England as quick as possible. Because at that period,
Yeah.
you're thinking, yo, it's year 11 next year. You get me? What sixth form am I going to
Yeah,
go to?
you
From-
feel like you're missing
come
out
on.
a
Yeah,
lot of
prom.
things.
I had 2 proms to go to.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that's how it is, because when we was talking on Facebook sometimes, he's like, I'm always asking, yo, when you back? And
Bro,
you're like,
you know how many
yeah.
times I've heard someone like text me on Facebook, innit? When are you back? But what can you say at that point? There's nothing you can say, innit?
yeah.
You just be like, yeah, soon. Bro, sometimes I'm even messing around. I'm back next week. What you telling me? But I know I'm not coming back, innit?
But I think, it is, right? A lot of people, when they get sent back, it feels like they're missing out on things. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, you know what it is? I'll tell you the truth. It's like so much. I see it myself right now. When people leave the country, life just moves on.
Yeah.
Right?
People move on.
People move on. But from the outside looking in, it's like a madness going on.
Yeah.
And when you speak to someone over Facebook or on the phone, they'll be like, nothing, bro, everything's normal.
Yeah,
Like
it's
nothing's changed. But really and truly, the whole landscape has changed.
Because it's different. You're missing out on your teenage years down here.
Yeah.
People, whether it's going football, they're going to games together, people going outings together. It's like you feel like you're missing out on these things. Because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You went to school with a lot of us at the same time. And you're thinking, and this is the thing. It's like, I feel like, I remember when I'm back to, I guess at one point, right? And this is, when I was speaking, I was just with some locals at one point. And when it's like you're romanticizing what England is like, and that's a bad thing at the same time, right? So I'm talking to some of the my neighbors, and I'm just telling them, yeah, England's like this, and this is how it goes on there, and it's like they're getting a smile, they're getting happy, and then the guy saying, yeah, you know what, man's gonna make my way there, innit? And you think, what?
You're part of the problem.
Yeah, see,
people like him.
exactly. That's and then you don't realize at that point, because what you're doing is, at that time, of course, they might not be working. Let's say, right? Opportunities are limited. Do you know what I mean? And they're still young, so they're thinking, you know what? This guy is telling me this place, yeah, like there's so much going on. Let me make my way.
It gets deeper than that as well. Like, people don't notice it, but I noticed it a bit. Is when people from England go back to African countries, they got like not in a bad way, but like, man's from England, innit?
Yeah,
like, I'm better than you.
Yeah, I'm
lot.
better.
You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Here, you can be literally doing nothing, but you know what I mean? If you go back to Africa, you'll be telling people man's doing bits.
Yeah,
You know what I
100%.
mean? So for me, maybe I did to begin with. I can't analyze myself in it, but after a while, it was just no one could tell the difference. That literally, I'm in class, a new person will come in and they'll be like, hey, like what? Then someone telling me he's from England, they'll be like, what? Him? He's from England. Yeah. Because you don't carry yourself like that, innit?
So you didn't have to readjust at all. Like let's say, listen. What about, like, for instance, let's say, like, you got used to eating Skittles every morning on, like, your way to school.
Skittles,
and then,
did you say?
I don't know, man.
But
like,
this is the thing. A lot
You
of
hear
people.
what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's because he's not been back home anyway. But it's like you feel like these little things are so important. But to an extent, I think he's got a point, because
Should have said Rubicon.
yeah, Rubicon's
I'd agreed with you. Skittles University.
McCoy's Chris, come on, man.
McCoy's there, bro.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
maybe Zambia is different, but I think maybe
Bro,
like
Zambia
it's-
is okay.
yeah.
There's a difference. There's what I haven't been Somalia in it, but from what I hear, there's Somalia, but Zambia's not like that. It's like more. They look to Europe more, so there'll be cinemas, there'll be shopping centers, there'll be.
Was it a British colony?
Yeah.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
it's Zambia and Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Isn't this the same Zambia when they used to say where everyone goes to the shopping center and goes on the escalator?
Bro,
Who was that guy? Anyways, I said that.
Trevor Noah, man.
Trevor Noah, yeah.
Trevor
When
Noah.
you were you there when they won? Didn't they win the African Cup of Nations?
Bro, that was lit.
You were there at that point.
I was there.
Yeah.
It was 20
Oh my.
Was it 2012?
2010. I
20
think-
No, it was in 2010.
2011,
Because
yeah.
that's when the World Cup.
Oh,
was
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
2012 AFCON, right?
2011.
Something like that.
Were you
AFCON
there?
was-
Yeah.
What was it like?
Bro, it was lit. Because you have to understand, Zambia is not the best footballing nation or
Yeah,
anywhere near.
Yeah.
Like, they once had a sick team back in the day that got into a car crash. It's a United situation. But this time, it was like everything was with them. Like, when you're in the city, no one even knew that they were going to win it.
Yeah.
But the final, that was one of the latest days of
I was
the
watching
city,
that. Who did they play? Nigeria?
Ivory Coast, bro.
Yeah, Ivory Coast. It was in the
They
final.
had Drogba, all them man
Yeah.
in the
All I'm
team.
seeing is like 10
Songo.
Zambians running. Just
Bro,
even the centre
captain,
back
yeah,
is.
the captain was, bro, he was in the army. You know, bro, he was a bit weird, bro. Like, it's hard to explain,
Yeah.
but their captain is like an army guy, but he's a footballer at the
Yeah.
same time, innit? Bro, the whole city was literally no one slept. The
But
whole night.
what's the perception of the Somalis in Zambia? Like, how do the Zambians look at the Somalis in that sense?
Like, in what way?
Like, what's the perspective? Like, do they, because they isolate themselves a lot more than not? Because,
I wouldn't say they isolate themselves. Like, they work with Zambians.
Yeah.
They employ Zambians. I wouldn't say they isolate themselves. Some areas are even mixed. Like, they live with Zambians as well.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say in that way, but if you're talking about like marriage and
Yeah,
all
no,
of that,
of
then
course, that's
something
totally different. Yeah,
yeah,
at least they're more, hospital, like in terms of like the hospitality is different, isn't it?
bro.
The
There,
Somalis.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If you know their language, you're lit. You're lit, man. You're speaking to a cabbie. If you speak two of their language, they drop the price by
Yeah.
half. You're local, basically.
Yeah, I think that's the same everywhere, even back home in Somalia. Literally, like I think it's to do with if you like, people can tell when you just you're not from
Yeah. No,
the area. Do you know
with
what I mean?
Somalis
And-
as well, they'll assume to begin with you're not from there
yeah,
until you prove like, yo, like, you get me? I'm not a tourist, innit? I'm a local, so I know the price.
Yeah.
Don't try and mug me up.
So-
Then they'll laugh. This is the funniest part. They'll laugh and say, say nothing. You get me? You're one of us. But it's a bit different.
It's different in that sense. Like it's like you said, like you get a lot of uncles that do they go back suited up, you know, similar to how they go.
Yeah, they do, bro. They go back suited up. They're from here, fam. Like, not many uncles are doing a madness here, innit? But when they go back, they act like they're moving mountains. Man's from England. What are you telling me?
Yeah.
You get me?
The passport, everyone's flexing though.
No, but that's
passports.
people do that on a regular, like in.
I think that's normal.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. They save up all year just to splash it all on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm back, baby.
But then they'll be telling the locals in the same breath, England mahakadonisa wahyala male.
Yeah.
So you're giving mixed signals.
Yeah. Contradiction.
You're telling them it's the latest place. Man, suited and booted. I'm coming back. But then you're telling them, why are you going there? You know, why would you want to go there?
But that's similar to what I was saying about the neighbor when I was like telling about England and whatnot. Like, who's already by that time? That guy was already making his, like, who's already had his route. Like, he's telling me he's going for Afghanistan. I'm like, whoa, like, bro, hold up. You're telling me you're going through Afghanistan and you're going through that place to get there. Do you know what I mean? And you never know, like. And this is the thing, like the next year I did hear, he did leave and he's on his way to, you never know where he's gonna go. Like, he actually left.
Yeah, that it's sad. It's sad.
Like, it is. You never know how that might end up. But I remember, and this is the thing, right? It becomes so sticky because it depends where they end up anyway.
All the youngsters just leaving,
leave at one point,
taking trips. Yeah.
Like, I remember I had a family member even, and then I think they ended up like in some next Austria, let's say, right? And they've got nothing in their pocket, like Austria.
Your pronunciation is so funny, man.
Suspect there. Still.
Is it Austria there?
Austria.
Okay, Austria.
Hey, flow.
Anyways, Austria, yeah, they ended up there anyways, and they needed some, let's say, pocket money. Of course, they need a way to survive, the undocumented, etc. So these are the things they come across anyways. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't always have a plan. Like, they might just have a little bit of money that gets them from one place to the other. But bear in mind, you're going through different places where you might have to pay this person to get through this place and that. You know what I mean? There's so many barriers that they don't think of. But I think some of the times we're the problem.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, from what I heard, like sometimes, you know, like they might sell off like a bit of land that the family own, you know, like. And then use that money to fund the trip. Yeah, or
happens a lot.
Like, obviously when the money runs out, you just ring up like whoever you can, any relation like in Europe, and then innit? Like anybody that can help or just help, innit? That's just how it goes.
And sometimes they even, you know, I don't know if you're in them group chats anyways, but you know, you got them clans, you know, tribal WhatsApp groups that they're all funding. Everyone's putting down £10. And it goes towards something, let's just say.
Usually medical issues, isn't it?
Yeah, but sometimes I think with those situations, more immediate families and that deal with those situations. Like, someone has to sell land or whatever they have in order to get there. Do you know what I mean?
But you know what the tricky situation is? It's like, I've been through this. Sometimes I tell them, like, it's not really that deep. Like, I don't think you know what England is. Because you have to understand, there's some kids down in Africa or whatever that their life is cushy, bro. They got maids, you get me? They go in private school. I'm saying you're not getting that in England, my friend. Like, Like, switch it up here, you're living a nice life. But I deeped it later on. It's not about actually living in England. It's the freedom of the passport. It's for them to go to any country in the world, so they get a bit more freedom. Even they say to me, I don't want to live in England, but I want their passport. Yeah. Because I understand now, like, for me, it's easier for me to get around the world compared to my cousins, for an example. They might have guap, but it's hard. They have to apply for visas. They have to have certain money in their bank account.
Just in order to go
there. Just to actually go there for 10 days or whatever. So for them, they say they want to go business in Dubai, for example. Yeah. They want to do trades. They want a passport. They even go, you got a British passport, you're not making money.
You're not doing nothing, you're just sitting there.
They say, you mad? Like,
they ask you, let me borrow it.
Nah. You get me? Bro, I'm not going to lie. There's offers. You're going to receive offers, innit? But it's not the smartest thing to do.
You not ever heard of them offers? Like, of the marriage one, the marriage one where
I was too young for that though. That one.
What do you mean? Like the marriage one?
the
and
marriage
what,
ones
the
where obviously you get married, innit? Yeah, and then you basically there's a fee involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear that. Don't get me wrong.
Wait,
I hear that.
Hold on.
You know,
have you been?
Have
you been approached?
Once upon a time, I was broke, and it crossed my mind. I had an offer still. Hey.
It must,
so
of course.
Nah, I'm kidding, man. But I've heard of that. Well, I've heard of that, innit? I've heard of that stuff.
Them situations happen. Don't get me wrong. You're getting, you know,
I don't see it in our generation.
someone might tell us.
No, wallah.
Don't get me wrong.
Our generation.
Listen, I hear it.
Broski.
Literally.
100%,
I've
bro.
not heard of one situation.
Wallahi, bro, I hear it, man. Trust me.
I hear it. Like, it's one of those situations that happens. Literally, think about it. You're a bachelor, right? You might be just chilling. You're not doing much, let's say, right? And what they do is then someone might, I don't know.
Don't you have to have a minimum income in it to do this though?
Bro, listen, you just same way of you like trying to make it over here, like, and you know you're selling off a bit of land, like you're basically you do the same thing, but then you're using that money to pay someone to bring you over as their like partner, like
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah,
innit?
there's a process, but some people obviously, don't get me wrong, they do marry that person, but then they might just
Of course.
they might start liking the person too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those things
You
happen.
can get twanged innit? For a quick passport.
But those things happen, man. Like it's
life, innit?
it's just a way of making things. You know?
No,
You know what I
100%.
mean? And that person might bring their family.
No, but do you know what's actually sad about this stuff? Like,
Yeah.
have you ever sat down and actually listened to like people's tahrib stories, like, and some of the things that they went through, like, in the process of making it over here? Well, like that, there's some real mad stories.
Yeah,
out
there's some
there.
raw stories, literally, where they've come across a madness, literally, where
Literally.
they are not.
They're running in like
Yeah.
like I've heard, like, I don't recall it so much, but something about like running in darkness, bro, and like bullets are just being shot, and you're just running. You don't know where there's no end. Wallah, you're just running in darkness. I've heard
You know
some mad
what's
stories like
mad?
that.
Yeah, I think I came across something on socials the other day, and it was like a group of Somalis, right? I don't know where it was. There was somewhere.
Turkey, innit?
It was in Turkey or the Eastern Bloc or somewhere down there, right?
in the forest.
And they were in a forest, and it's not a little forest; it's a massive, never-ending looking forest. And these people are like, "Listen, someone needs to send us money. Like, we're not gonna survive else." Do you know what I mean? But you get some people that just make jokes and say, "Listen, you're asking for money, but at the same time, you got a bit of a battery left on your phone, kind of thing. Like, how's that going on?" You know what I mean? So people just joke about the situation, but it's serious. Like, people go for
100%.
a madness just to get to the mainland.
Yeah, because the
Do you know what I
roots,
mean?
like, from obviously what I don't know too much about this, innit? But I hear the roots change over the like years and whatnot. Like, certain roots get bait, and then you got to go through different routes and what. Like, even with what you were seeing, like, about the Libya stuff. Yeah, was it Libya where like
Libya,
loads of
there's
people?
loads,
Yeah. Like, so it's nuts, man. Or like,
Yeah,
it's
because
nuts.
there's a whole business that goes on. There. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
It's a whole madness that goes from there. Do you know what I mean?
It'd be
But
interesting.
little boats capsize all the time down there between I think they're going down to the southern point of Italy towards, I think it's like Sicily or
Greece.
somewhere, or when they even go to Greece and whatnot, and they come across so many things there. Do you know what I mean? Or you've got loads of Somalis even where they're in places in Pakistan, for example, and that was part of their route, let's say, right? But because they ran out of money, they just stayed there, and now they're working there.
Oh,
Do you know what I
man.
mean?
Bro, I
And
have
those
a
things
theory
happen.
They're everywhere.
No, they're everywhere, literally. Like, the money runs out, and then they're bound to work there, and over time, you just stay there. To the point where I heard someone's even Vietnam, Philippines,
Brazil.
Cambodia. Like, I'm thinking, what's going on there? Like, how do we end up in these places? But I think once you're trying to do different routes, whatnot, do you know what I mean? Not all the time, don't get me wrong. Some people go there for business and that, but those things happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Brazil, that was another thing. Like, I think I was hearing about a story how one Somali guy had a lucrative business in sugar. Is
Yeah.
it sugar?
Sugar.
yeah. Had some good business going on in Brazil. Do you know what I
Two
mean?
wives as well.
Yeah, something like that. 2 words. He had a great business going on. So yeah, it's not all the time it's about tidy, but at the same time, maybe it started off as that, right? As them you know. But then it became actually they set up shop,
Yeah,
great
yeah.
business there.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Bro,
Yeah, nah,
Somalis can adapt anywhere. That's what
Yeah.
happened.
100%.
No, I believe that too.
Anywhere, fam. Bro, you can go to Japan. There'll be rural Japan Somalis or like.
No, I hear. Was it near the mountains somewhere there?
Bro, these men
Like,
there.
the way I was like, near Japan, near the mountains, I don't know what they're doing there. And I think what surprises someone the most is like when you go to these odd countries and you're thinking, I'm the only person here, like I'm chilling, and then you just bump into a Somali. I think that happened to loads of people. I think in Hawaii, for example, they're going maybe there for a
Is it
honeymoon.
Hawaii?
Yeah, Hawaii, and then they're going there for a honeymoon, let's say, and they just bump into loads of uncles there just chilling, say, hey, what's good? And then they get shocked, thinking, oh. But don't get me wrong, there were loads of Somalis in Hawaii at the time because they went there to study. I know I had one cousin over there at one point, and she was studying there.
In Hawaii?
Yeah. In Hawaii,
man.
she was studying there.
America,
It's
innit?
part of America.
It's
do you know what I
elite.
mean?
Like, could you, like, obviously having lived in Zambia, yeah, being born there and whatnot, and obviously, like, you're living here right now,
Yeah.
could you ever see yourself, like, completely just saying, yeah, bun this, I don't really like the UK anymore, and just moving over there completely full time?
Not gonna lie, it's a bit. That question is multifaceted.
And listen, we got all the time in the world, mate.
Bro.
Take your time.
Because there's a give and take.
Okay.
You can have an easier life there, but you have to. There has to be a way of you making money.
Okay.
You can't just go there and just say, "Yeah, I'm gonna apply for
Yeah.
whatever career path you're in and just get a good job." It doesn't work. I don't think that's the best route. But if you go there with a solid plan and in a way of making money, you're gonna live literally a very good life. And that's not even just for Zambia. That could be anywhere.
That
It could
be
even be
anywhere,
back
yeah.
home. Somalia could be Somalia itself. Even your quality of life, the food you eat, how the day goes, your stress levels, everything. Bro, there's no stress down there, I don't think, fam. It don't exist down there. Like, everyone's so cool
No
and
brown
calm.
envelopes in that down
Yeah,
there.
bro,
yeah.
there's none of that. It's so cool and calm. But the caveat is you have to, like, literally have money.
Okay.
Yeah, money makes sense as long as you got the money.
Yeah.
But another thing I was gonna ask you, and I thought about this: is it easier for Somalis once they've lived in maybe one or two countries to just move to several different countries than just to not stay at one place? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
I think
100%.
you got some Somalis that have just maybe they're born and bred here and
Yeah, it's difficult to live
and
anywhere
they
else.
just don't want to leave.
Yeah.
But once you moved, for example, like myself, I've lived in Holland. I was in Poland for a little
Yeah.
bit, and then I came back actually to England and whatnot. But deep down inside, if I have opportunity to go somewhere else, I'm not gonna think twice. I'll actually pack my bags and go.
Bro, it's a big world, isn't it? Like, there's people that will never leave London. Let's be honest. You
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about. There's people that will never leave London. Not even London, the area they're from.
Just the
within-
area. It could be even the
within
north,
London.
and then they're not even living north.
Yeah.
Like,
Because you know how we see London one way?
yeah,
There's people that can never see it the other way.
yeah,
So they're just secluded. But if you live in different countries, you understand that there's different positives and negatives with every country.
yeah.
For example, here, it has its positives that Africa won't have. Like, for example, like Amazon Prime. You know what I mean?
Next
bro,
day delivery.
bro, I'm saying the whole aspect
Yeah.
of next day delivery. The whole thought process about it. Like, I want shit now.
Yeah.
You don't get that down there. You get me? We don't have it. We don't have it. Like, there's no
Yeah.
I want. It's not that.
Yeah.
There's more of a need. But what they do is their quality of life is way better. You got, let's say, I know it sounds a bit bougie, innit? But you got maids, you know them ones?
Yeah.
You got bigger houses.
Is that standard though? Like
What, maids?
with the maids?
Yeah, it is standard. I would say anything above African middle class. And African middle class is subject to it.
Yeah.
But anything above African middle class, you have maids. Because, bro, there's poor people that need jobs. It's job
Yeah.
creation, bro.
The thing is, I don't think Lee's familiar with waking up to like having
Is it
people
bed?
working,
No,
maids,
it's-
soon come,
nice
inshallah.
breakfast, and he's used to just waking up in the morning, getting his breakfast himself.
What breakfast, bro? My Red Bull and
I'm
I'm
not
off,
gonna lie,
man.
It ruined me, you know that, having maids and that. It took me time to adjust, fam. Because when I came back, bro, I was so spoiled, yeah. Because let's say I'm going to school. Because the schools I went at, there was no uniform. So I could wear my own clothes.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm thinking about an outfit. in the morning, I'm going to the wardrobe, dropping everything, just looking for a certain outfit, and I leave, knowing when I come back, everything's patterned, like ironed back again, and like put in, folded and everything. But I never thought that someone did this. It doesn't even come into your mind. But the good thing is, I wasn't bad to them. Like, I would always give them a bit of change, like, because I had my own money, because I was the only one out of my family that was there. So I used to get like an allowance per month.
Yeah.
Very good allowance, actually. So I would just give them like, hey, you did this for me. Because it'll feel weird. Like I don't pay them, but they're doing everything I want them to do. So I'll just give a bit of money that don't make sense to me, but to them, it makes a big difference. Because like, if you give someone, let's say, £1 a day, then throughout the month, that's £30. They can do, like, it could help them in any way.
It can always help. I've been had with my family that I think there was a maid where she's literally been let's say 25 years plus, but she's part of the family. Do you know what I mean? She's literally seen one of the kids, and they growing up, had a kid and whatnot. She's been there. Do you know what I mean? From that sense, and then at one point, then she's given her own properties and so on, and she's helped with any business venture that she comes with. Do you know what I mean? And she's taken in as one of their own. So there is positive takeaway. It depends on how you go about with the person.
You view it,
Do you know what I mean? You don't, like, some people do different things.
Well, there's gonna be horror stories. You know, bad people treating people bad. But I'm saying, if you treat someone very well, it's job creation. Like, they'll say like, yo, I need this job. Like, it's not, because if you tell someone here, I want a maid, they'll look at you and say, what is wrong with you?
Here is different,
No, they'll say, what is wrong with you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they'll say, why do you need a maid? But they don't understand, like, when you live down in that side, there's not enough jobs to go around. So even having a maid that doesn't even do much, just like maybe cleans the floors or whatever, she's doing so much. You're taking care of 8 people. She might have kids,
of course, and
everything.
Even she might send some of the money back to the families, and whatnot. But going back to you, when you talk about affluent Somalis in Zambia and those that are educated, would you say from your family end that they were educated in that sense? And because what is it that, when we think back to it, those Somalis at that time took advantage of, Somali was stable at that time. They were able to get the education. They were sent all over the globe in that sense, had education, and then came back. And then maybe in that way, they went to like Zambia, they went to all these different countries. Was that the case on your end?
Yeah, there's a few uncles I have that are quite educated, but usually the eldest ones, like, uncles in your 60s.
Yeah.
Because they took advantage of, before the war and everything, they were sent to different universities, maybe Germany, just to basically further their education. But then there's an age group just below them where they didn't have that opportunity. Yeah. Because the country wasn't the way it was before. It was in turmoil. So they basically, maybe they might have been in high school and everything went to shit.
So their education literally stopped.
Stop there. Find a job, my guy. You get me? Go to a country or stay in this country. Bro, it was that deep because everything just shattered at one point.
The whole system collapsed. Yeah,
the guys that had education, that had degrees from different countries, could actually go to America. It was so deep that you can go to England and say, this is what I offer. Yeah. This is my skills. And it's very easy for you to get a citizenship.
But obviously the ones later, after war or whatnot, just about maybe got high school education, they're unable to then, transfer their skills. I think even a butcher was telling me the same thing here. He's like, the most I could offer then at that time was just working in a butcher. And that's all I had.
Bro, but that's where the hard work comes from that I tell people Somalis have, but they don't showcase it in mass in the West. Because in Africa, or let's just say in the West, they've just got a structure. There's a baseline that even if you go below or you don't work hard enough, there's still going to be minimum. You're going to have money. You're going to have a house to live at. So even if someone, let's say, eats qad all day, for an example, he's going to be living an okay life. Not the best life.
But you can say that at the same time, that's our dependency on the welfare system.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, here, there's a little safety net. Yeah. But there, outside Somalia, where that kagamahan is basically you have to grind. That's why if you go to Kenya, if you go to Uganda, if you go to Tanzania, you see Malis doing bits, and they're not the same as the Malis in the West. Like you won't just see like guys just sitting around in coffee shops.
No, but their view is
24s.
different.
They
do. They view us as in, you know, like being sport maybe.
100.
They look at us
soft.
soft.
Soft,
You know what I mean?
100%.
They look at soft people,
Bro,
immature. Do you know what I mean?
Even look at the way they dress. Just I beg you deep. It's a shirt, jeans, and like boots every day. There's no different garms. It's I can do anything I want with this. I'm grinding 24 hours a day in the same outfit. There's no I'm changing. I've got work outfit.
Yeah.
It's none of that. I'm grinding. This is my life. You know.
This is the one outfit that that fits all.
Purpose.
Do you know what I mean?
It's all purpose. I'm gonna go to Makhayed with this. I'm gonna go to fix a truck with this. It's the same shit.
But do they chill in the Makhayed like that? Like you might see down here. Do you know what I mean? As much. Or everyone hasn't got that much time for it like that?
Oh, they do have time. Because
Africa's definitely, like you said, slow down a bit more.
Because after 6, not much is moving. So like in the evenings, people like do have they're like calm down in it.
Come by at 6.
Yeah, 6, 7 sunsets. They're maybe eating at a show somewhere, or they're just having tea, coffee, whatever, just relaxing. But in the daytime, someone's always on the move. There's a guy saying, "Yo, I can link you with this, bro." There's guys there that don't have jobs but make money, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a bit weird, but there's wheeler dealers.
Like? Yeah,
wheeler dealers. They're like basically saying, like, for example, oh, you need a spare part. Your truck's been sitting for a month.
Yeah,
like, you can't get your truck. The place you get your spare parts, they have to order it. It's gonna take 6 months. It's coming from Germany or something,
or wherever it's coming from.
Or wherever it's coming from. That guy would say, "Listen, if you give me a certain amount of P, I'm gonna find you that spare part within 2 days." You get me? So there's an angle where some people make money through.
There's the hustling.
Finesses, yeah.
Bro, come on, man. In every
100%.
shape or form, there's always
there's money to be made in any way. Do you know what I mean? At the same time, I think that's the best thing. But what would you say? Like some of the things that I'd say, anyways, that what's the biggest takeaways that you've got? The contrast. Would you say like the biggest takeaways that you've learned?
Oh, there and here.
Yeah,
bro. I would say the biggest takeaway for me personally, it made me see life a bit different.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. Because when I was here originally, I got embroidered. Oh, I need the new trainers. You get me? I'm just thinking about what's the next motive. I'm just thinking about little things. I go down there and you see street kids sniffing glue. It changes you a bit. Like you see life a bit different. That's why when I came back when I was 19.
Yeah.
And all those challenges looked. You know what we go through usually, where you might be weak to the roads, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bro, it looked stupid to man. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, it looks hella stupid to me. And I'm like, bro, get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is nonsense. But people don't see that. That's why I think that if more people just at least even went for holiday back home.
But on a serious one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
just to see
Not
it
for
for 1 month.
Properly.
Yeah, just to see family or whatever. Just for 1 month. Bro, you see life here different.
It's a bit similar to like how like you know that there's work experience when you're in school. They give you a taster of what work is like, you know, like So what you're saying does make there's a lot of logic to it. It makes sense.
If you take some youth that's talking rah rah rah, I need to make what by the usual antics and take them to a country or let's say back home and let them explain their life story to a local. Bro, the local look at them like saying, "Who's this guy?"
Yeah,
bro, they'll look at you like,
"Yeah, definitely, yeah."
Bro, because they'll say what you're looking at is not important. You're doing stupid things for no reason, innit? That's why you never see a freshie trapping. You never see that.
Yes,
bro, you don't see that.
Rarely.
Yeah. See, I wouldn't say never, but rarely 100%.
I haven't seen it personally. Like that I know fully.
Yeah.
Okay,
That you personally,
I personally know.
I've come across a few, but it's weird.
Here's the point.
It's not the usual ones. I know exactly what you
How
mean.
many guys have you met? They've been here for 15 years, but still have that twang.
Yeah, Yeah, you
Get
do.
me?
Yeah.
I'm talking about someone that came 3 years ago. That's doing that at like 18, 19.
No, because they just look to grind out.
Yeah, they just go straight into like a little.
No, but obviously, yeah. It depends on the age that you come here. 100%, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's someone like that came here, 17, 18, sometimes it's a bit different.
No, they're not.
But if
like,
they're in their 20s and whatnot, they're not
Yeah.
there to play around. Do you know what I mean?
I'd say I wouldn't even say 20s. I'd say like older than that, a little bit older than that, mate.
what's that?
Like as in, like I think I had a cousin who came here maybe early 30s, maybe or late 20s or
But
something
those
like that.
are the.
But those
But-
are the seasoned ones.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Those are a bit
Well, I
different.
believe if a guy came here at 18, they're not looking at the roads or none of that. They don't even, for them to even settle, it's going to take 2 years to
I
even
hear you.
understand things in this country. The language, everything. And they're going to be in the Hayes campus. And
Yeah, but one thing I've noticed
you
is,
know what I mean?
is-
You know what I'm trying to say? They're going to be down there.
No, but the one I rate that so much about them because they're either straight looking to get their education, and the first thing they say is, "Yo, where's the job center? Where can I get this? Where can I work?"
100%.
Do you know what I mean? I always see that literally, and that's the motivation
Yeah,
they got.
Bro, you have to
Do you
ask
know what I
yourself,
mean?
why do people do that?
Sometimes, you know, it is, I've clocked, like, there are families, like, back home, you know, they're married and they've got youths to support back home. So it's, it's just work ethic is coming like Kante, like, literally.
Yeah.
Literally,
It's
bro.
different, fam.
It's
I
different.
think even you were saying you used to have some colleagues in the previous places you was at, and you had some uncles, whatnot, and literally the way they operate is, I've got a set budget that I've got to have for me to send back home.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. So I've spoken to uncles, like a couple older guys, before, innit? Yeah, and they've kind of like, they've broken down, innit? Like how they can. how, listen, we'll go into this another day. Yeah, how they manage like having like 2-3 different wives and whatnot, and like.
Yeah, but
look at
it's
this guy,
interesting.
man.
It's interesting.
This guy.
I'm talking about more about the way I'm looking at it is more how they manage, for example,
Bro.
having 2-3 wives.
No. Wallahi.
Okay, let's say if they have one here, let's say.
Where does
One
it
of
No.
them-
There's none here. There's none here.
Alright,
bro.
there's not. Okay, my bad. Let me take that back.
Listen.
They got a family back home, right? And they're working here.
A family or two.
Oh, two. It could be 2 anyway.
Yeah. Each to their own. But,
what I mean?
but listen, forget all of
Circumstances
that. Man. We'll
and stuff.
we'll circle back to that another day, man.
Yeah.
We'll circle back to that another day, man. But it's doable. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I agree.
As long as you got a set budget, isn't it?
yeah. We'll come back to that.
Because the best way to look at it is like you know how Somalis count. They look at how much they need to send back. They look at GBP, then the dollars. They say, okay, the dollar, like the dollars make sense.
You know they
The-
got exchange rate in their mind.
The exchange rate,
Daily, they
because
know.
Somalis, the way they look at things is in dollars, and everything's in dollars in that sense. So yeah, it is funny the outlook. Yeah.
Mad, fam.
No, 100%. But you didn't answer that question I asked you earlier.
Remind me,
This guy avoided it,
John
man.
was that.
Listen. So, can you see yourself ever like?
Yeah, 100%.
100%, yeah.
Bro,
What
fully,
as retirement or like just completely?
bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. You want me to be truthful? You know my view. innit? You know my view. I'm not gonna lie, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very close. Maybe when I'm in my 30s, maybe. Because
Okay.
England's got its benefits. Let's just leave it at that, yeah. England's got its benefits for the moment.
Oh right.
For the moment,
yeah.
like,
Alright.
England's got
To
its
set up
benefits.
your base.
I hear. I hear.
to further
Yeah.
and whatnot. It's not always the end goal. Don't get me wrong. You never know, obviously, where you're gonna end up.
But I'm
in terms of,
I'm against saying I'm gonna be here forever. I'm fully against that. I'm never gonna be here forever.
You're nomad.
No, never gonna be here forever.
On
It
the
don't make
go.
sense to me. Huh?
Yeah, like a nomad, innit? You're on
Yeah,
the go,
bro.
innit?
Not even on the go.
Yeah.
I'm just anti here for a long time. You get it? Like
Yeah.
if you said to me, for example, yo Lee, I don't see myself ever living in any other place than London. Maybe I might go Milton Keynes as far as
Yeah.
outside London. I might go. For example, bro, there's people like that. innit?
Yeah.
Keys.
Bro, there's people like, for example, cheaper rent or whatever.
Yeah,
innit?
yeah.
That's the furthest they'll go. I'll look at them and I'll say, bro, especially if you look at the retirement age is going up yearly.
Yeah.
By the time we get to that, you might be 80 something still working.
You never know.
You never know, bro. You never know. Saying, yeah, I've got 3 more years and they can barely walk. I'm not trying to see that, fam. I'm trying to live the most comfortable life, the earliest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I've already tasted it. I don't gonna lie, I like it. I'm trying to get back to that as quick as possible for the longest possible.
I hear you.
You understand?
Yeah,
That's a dream, bro.
That's it, man. Hey, that's
I hear that. That's understandable.
100%.
I think, like you said,
And it's hard to
everyone-
explain
yeah.
to people that haven't seen
yeah,
it.
or
It's
live
hard
that
to
life. Yeah,
explain.
definitely.
And for example, if I tell, like, even some of my friends, even when I say to you guys, yo, I'm trying to go back there for holiday, people look at me a bit weird. They say, bro, why are you trying to go back there for holiday? Let's go somewhere else. Let's go, at least go Somalia. I hear that a lot. And I hear that true. But for me, Somalia, it's a bit of an unknown to me, innit? Because I have to go with someone that's going to show me around. I can't just go deep and not know anyone and just have a cousin by name you shout out.
Yeah, of course.
And the guy just comes pick you up. It's all mad to me. But I'm soon going to go there. I'm going to do an African tour still.
Africa tour. What was that? Is it what's the place in Zambia?
What's that?
Like one of the tourist place where everyone goes to. Especially.
Oh, bro, he's got one of the 8 wonders of the world.
Yeah,
you know?
what's the place?
Victoria Falls.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I think a lot of people go there, especially.
Bro, there's a part. Yeah, hear this. There's a part. You see, like the falls is massive, innit? On the side of it is a swimming pool, like a natural swimming pool, not a man-made one. It's called Devil's Pool, innit? So people swim there and take the maddest pictures while on a waterfall. And it's like one of the largest waterfalls in the world.
I think another one was the Niagara Falls.
Niagara
Is
Falls, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
Victoria
in Canada,
Falls.
innit?
Yeah, definitely.
I think, you know what? Yeah, after this episode, I think Zambia is at the top of my list, man. That's where I need to
Bro,
go.
I told the man, if you want a safari, if you want to see Victoria Falls, chat, man.
Listen,
I'll
that's
show you
it.
about.
That's a tip for the viewers, isn't it? Have a look at it, see what it's like.
But I'm not a travel agent. Let's be honest. I'm not a travel agent, innit? If I'm going there and I see you there, say that, I'll show you about.
Oh man. Hey, it's yeah, wallahi, hey, it's been a pleasure to have
It's been
you
a pleasure,
on.
man.
I can't lie.
Yeah.
been
It's
a
always a great, having insight of having the whole point was just to get insight of having Somalis that lived in places that people are unfamiliar with.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
literally.
Like we always hear the usual places, but I think definitely where the insight you've given us is totally different.
100%.
And that's the whole point we wanted to do.
Because Somalis tend to think they're all the same.
Yeah.
Like, like all Somalis do this, for example, which is different. Somalis come in all shapes and sizes, fam.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say all Somalis do A, they don't do B. Bro, Somalis do everything. They live everywhere. They're capable of doing anything.
Yeah, literally.
Bro, it's mad, fam.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible, fam. Don't put yourself in a box.
That's it, man. Hey,
Yeah.
so we're gonna lock off there.
Yeah.
Thank you
That's
for
a great point. Thank
top-
you for having you.
yeah,
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Appreciate it, man.
yeah.
Loved it, man.
So like, share, subscribe, and
Hit it up.
yeah. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and all of that, man. All of that.